What's on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and it has begun. 62,000 accounts have begun the restoration process on Twitter, with more than 62,000 of them having more than 10,000 followers, one account over 5 million followers, and 75 accounts with over 1 million. So I assume these are not all unique followers, but let's just pretend they are for a minute. You're talking about 80, 90 million followers total to interact with. These are potential interactions, we can say. Even if one person follows multiple accounts, it can still interact with all of them. And they've done so pretty quietly. And I feel like they've also done so with not really much fanfare. It's hard to know who's been restored and who these people are. And I will offer one criticism here. I understand from a logistics standpoint or an implementation standpoint why Elon Musk may want to focus on the biggest accounts first. It's obvious, right? You bring back one person who has 5 million followers, you bring back 75 different people who all have 1 million plus followers. That is mega advertising. That is millions and millions and millions and millions and millions in free advertising. And that's exactly why you focus on that, which I understand. Now, this via Jack Posobiec. Breaking: Twitter has begun the process of reinstating roughly 62,000 accounts with more than 10,000 followers. Platformer has learned, including one account that has over 5 million followers. I don't know who that would be. And 75 accounts with over 1 million. The criticism is like, I didn't complete that thought. I think that you should also restore accounts for smaller people, the actual people that use the account. How many people of these, mega massive accounts that are being unbanned, how many of them, how many of their followers, their interactors have been banned for agreeing or sharing their ideas? So, I'd like to see this continue rapidly to everybody, You see it, unbanning is reliant on follower count. Sad if true. I agree with that. There are a lot of people with, closer circles, maybe a couple hundred people that are in their circles, and they should be restored too. Twitter stops policing COOF misinformation under CEO Elon Musk. Again, I don't know if they ever stopped policing it, but they've opened up what you can say, just like YouTube and just like Facebook. And reportedly restore 62,000 suspended accounts. Now, I don't know who any of these people are. Have you seen a large account of 1 million followers pop up lately? I mean, I know it's not Carpe Donktum. I know it's not Milo. I know it's not Gavin. I know it's not Tommy Robinson. I know it's not, I know it's not any of the people that I would know. So were they bot accounts? Were they brand accounts that are no longer in existence? I don't know. Mashable, leftist leaning outlet. If Twitter, or they're talking about Elon Musk says Twitter will give amnesty to suspended accounts from next week. Now, I'm wondering if, I'm almost certain that Apple issuing their kind of threat to remove Twitter from the App Store, this is their response to this. There are some people in this list that Apple just didn't want around, apparently. Quote, they're skeptical of their workers too. Plus, new details on Musk's general amnesty for banned Twitter users. So I don't really care about them talking about how much they don't like Elon Musk. This entire article is, of course, very biased. But the unbannings is what I'm really interested in. And by the way, if you're tuned in, you haven't yet subscribed, I'm pushing hard to get to 1.4 million subscribers. I think we could do it this week. If you are one of the 45% of people that watch my videos that are not subscribed, please consider letting me earn your subscription today. I know you might have to create an account on YouTube or whatever. It might be a pain, but it is one of the only ways you'll actually find my videos. And the more people that subscribe, the more likely YouTube will be to actually share my videos. And it's an uphill battle when you talk about some of the stuff that we do on this channel. So I greatly appreciate those that are subscribed and those that will subscribe today. Quote, In fact, since Musk's poll, Twitter has begun the process of reinstating roughly 62,000 accounts with more than 10,000 followers, Platformer has learned, including one account that has over 5 million followers and 75 accounts with over 1 million followers. The identities of these accounts could not be learned before press time. Internally, employees have referred to this event as the Big Bang. The project could cause more instability at Twitter at a time when the company is hemorrhaging engineering talent, wouldn't put it that way. According to current employees, each reinstatement requires Twitter to rebuild a social graph activating data on who the account follows and who they follow and who follows the account. For a large account like Trump's with 88 million, that's millions of lists that Twitter has to update and maintain. The move also comes the same week that Musk plans to relaunch Twitter Blue, allowing anyone to buy a verified badge for $8 a month. An internal document about the design, launch, and design for employees and sales says that impersonations have been extremely rare despite all the evidence to the contrary. Well, the evidence was really just like 4 or 5 accounts that the media kind of harped on over and over again. We anticipated early efforts from bad actors, and we are adapting dramatically to improve and detect them, the document reads. What about large-scale coordinated misinformation attacks funded by wealthy organizations or governments? The document asks, large-scale bad actors would also require a huge supply of unique credit card numbers and mobile phones. The document says, as we detect and suspend these, the logistical hurdles to reoffend at scale becomes insurmountable. I think that that's probably true. Now, I still think someone should be behind and manually verifying these accounts. I just think that person shouldn't be politically biased, right? I think that that's reasonable. Between the coming Big Bang and the remaining potential for brand impersonation, though advertisers remain deeply skeptical as they pull their spending from Twitter, Musk has called several CEOs to berate them for abandoning the platform, according to the Financial Times. The latest betrayal by Apple appears to have cut Musk particularly deep. Apple is Twitter's single largest brand advertiser, according to the Washington Post, responsible for $48 million in spending in the first quarter alone. Earlier today, Musk tweeted that Apple had mostly stopped advertising on Twitter. Do they hate free speech in America, he asked. He followed up by asking Apple CEO Tim Cook to explain himself. Well, I think that this is obviously Apple virtue signaling and, willing to, I don't know how many new customers they're going to gain by doing this, but I do know that some people will stop using their hardware. The problem is, if you're an Apple user in particular, you've got, if you've got Apple products at home, you're integrated and all this kind of stuff, it's tough to switch off of Apple. Maybe it's the same difficulty. I don't know. I never had any interest in Apple products. Maybe you could tell me in the comment section, if it's actually difficult to go from Apple to Android, or Android, if it's the same going both directions. I assume that people who use Apple are more ingrained because they might have Apple TV stuff at home that connects to it. Apple's more proprietary than Android. But it's interesting to me to see the way the media, has spun this. This was updated 7 minutes ago in a recent update to its website. As of November 23rd, it is no longer enforcing the COOF misleading information policy. It means the company will no longer prioritize removing, tagging, or misleading health information regarding the COOF. Now, that's probably why Apple got bent out of shape, but it could also be the users that are brought back. The change comes as technology newsletter platform says employees are scrambling to restore more than 62,000 suspended accounts. I know that some people that follow me on Twitter have told me that they've been restored, and they don't have 10,000 followers. So maybe other people are getting them back. 60,000, 100,000. I hope. Elon is fighting battles on many fronts right now. I kind of wish he'd just focus on one thing at a time, make sure he gets that thing done and done right. But losing somebody who spends $10 million a month with your company, $15 million a month, that's probably a big deal. Apple obviously doesn't even really use Twitter. My guess is that that kind of spending and advertising was profitable for them, so they should consider bringing it back. But this is definitely a soft rebellion against Twitter. And as we get more and more of these users back, if more people continue to back out of the platform, advertisers, that means Elon's going to have to push these individual products faster to get everybody's $8, which is what he should be focusing on anyway, instead of picking fights with Apple. But hey, I'm here for it. I'm going to do my best to report to you in real time as things break. That's why I always ask humbly for your subscription on the channel. It's free, obviously, but it does help you find my videos much easier. I greatly, greatly appreciate you tuning in, and we'll talk to you again real soon.